Well, the 2024 San Francisco 49ers started the season with a lot of hope and promise and the goal of making it back to the Super Bowl. And we saw some good things early from the San Francisco 49ers. But eventually, fatigue and injuries would take their toll, including the quarterback position, with Brock Purdy missing 2 games during the season. But it wasn't just the offense that struggled in 2024, with the defense falling all the way down to 29th in the NFL. The team had to address this somehow in the offseason. What would be the best way to do that? The most obvious answer was to find another defensive end to play opposite of Nick Bosa. However, the team chose not to address this through free agency. While they did sign several players for depth, San Francisco understandably chose to commit most of their salary cap to re-signing core players like Brock Purdy, Fred Warner, and George Kittle. Instead, the 49ers used their first pick and the 11th overall pick in the NFL draft on defensive end Mykel Williams. An outstanding player who had a great career at Georgia, Williams projects to potentially be a star in the NFL. But there's a third way you can add players in the offseason. If you don't do it through free agency or the draft, you can also add players through a trade. And in comes Bryce Huff. And if we just take a look at the raw statistics here, we can see that Huff had a career year in 2023, but then in 2024, he missed several games with torn ligaments in his wrist. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles had signed him as a free agent in 2024. Too bad for them that the free agent signing didn't work out due to injury, but when San Francisco called offering them a 5th-round pick, which could conditionally turn into a 4th-round pick, well, Philadelphia's thinking, hey, we just signed this guy as a free agent. Now we trade him away. We're going to get a draft pick for nothing. We didn't have to do anything. Now we're going to get an extra draft pick next year. So this was a good deal for the Eagles. And if we go back to those statistics, remember that 2023 career year was when the Jets were coached by Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh loves this guy.
Well, that, of course, is significant because Saleh is now the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. So that all gives us a really good look at how this trade came to be. But what does Bryce Huff actually bring to the team? What does the film say about Bryce Huff? Well, that's why you guys are here. So let's take a look at it and get right into it. First of all, this guy is fast. Here he's going up against Mike McGlinchey, and just watch as he uses his speed to go right around him. And the bend, and then the athleticism to get to the quarterback. Here's another example. This time he's working against Jack Driscoll, and he just blows right by him like he's not even there. Gets held, doesn't matter, boom, makes Jalen Hurts pay. Okay, so far so good, but those were both against right tackles. Does he have the ability to play against some of the premier left tackles in the league? Can you move him around? You bet. Here he is, and this time he's going up against Jordan Mailata. This time he uses power, backs him up, and then gets off the block to get to the quarterback. Here he is again, and this is a transition from speed to power. He has all the tools in the arsenal. You want to try to block Bryce Huff with a tight end? Forget about it. And then has the athleticism not to get juked by Justin Herbert. Great handwork, chops that right arm down and gets to the quarterback.
Bryce Huff.
All right, just one more clip to show you guys here because we all know by now that he can rush the passer. But can he play the run? Yeah, you bet. Here, Dallas has a really nicely designed run play dialed up here. They're going to put CeeDee Lamb in motion, but he's going to block. And in sort of a clever move, they're also going to bring the left tackle, Tyron Smith, around to be the lead blocker on the play for Tony Pollard. Well, who then is going to block Bryce Huff if you're moving the left tackle around, right? Dallas has a plan. They're going to use the slot receiver, Michael Gallup, to pin Huff to the inside. But of course, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Bryce Huff is way too fast for this, and he penetrates immediately to disrupt the play. Well, there it is, folks. Bryce Huff is the real deal. Robert Saleh knew the player they had to go out and acquire. John Lynch made it happen, and it sets the 49ers up with the trade and the draft to have a good answer, potentially to rotate in the opposite side of Nick Bosa during the regular season. Well, if you guys like this sort of off-season content, be sure to check out my Patreon page. We've done a full suite of off-season content this year, including draft analysis, schedule analysis, and state of the franchise for all 4 NFC West teams. It takes a long time to make a video like this. If you could give me just 10 seconds and hit that like button on your way out, I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here and you like what you see, please subscribe. We do full film analysis, again, for all 4 NFC West teams during the regular season. You won't want to miss out on that. We've got a great community here, and I would love it if you joined us. All right, stay tuned for more because we have more content coming your way, and I will see you guys then.